Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BT Talks episode 22 already. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. So if you're tuning in, please comment that you can hear me clearly. So episode 22, I'm going to have as a guest my good friend Avisha Kassir. She is based here in Miami. She's a superstar. She's a great person, a real estate agent, and she's working also with Douglas Elliman, but she built her own little brand, which is very interesting, and we'll talk about it in our conversation. She has a career in TV, prior real estate, and she's done a lot of other things, so she's very entrepreneurial. So it's going to be quite interesting, so I'm excited to have a conversation with her. So please bear with me a minute or so, and she should be joining. This is going to be a really cool conversation. See, there's a few people from France, from Israel, from New York that have joined. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, a few people from Miami. Thank you so much. We've got the super luxury group that joined. Let's go. Always full of energies, these guys. All right, Avisha, where is she? There she is. Hold on one second.
There we go. How are you?
Hey,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me well?
I can. Perfect.
Perfect. So it's great to have you as a guest. I did a little intro for the people who don't know you, but I think we should start the conversation, and you should give a little intro of who you are, what you've done, how you came to Miami. And I'm sure there's a few people in the audience that know you, but for those who don't know you, so you're a good friend. We met a few months ago within Douglas Elliman, and you are involved in real estate. You have been involved in a lot of other things prior to that. And I think everybody's interested to know who you are and how you came to Miami, how you got into real estate, and what did you do prior real estate?
Sure. So thank you for inviting me today on your BT Talks. I love watching every week. So
Thank you.
I feel
Appreciate
honored
it.
to be here. Thank
Thank you.
Yeah, so originally I'm from New Jersey, and I cruised down the coast and went to college in DC and really loved it out there. And I stayed out there for about 15 years and met my husband. My husband and I got married, and we were deciding on where to live, where we wanted to pick our first home, our first ground in the roots kind of place. And we were very critical of where we wanted to be. And we looked in DC, we looked in Maryland, we looked in the Virginia area, and we kind of kept going. And in 2013, the blizzards happened. There was like 2 or 3 blizzards that happened back to back. And we had a really cool tradition. We would get a lot of Mexican food and just gorge on Mexican food and quesadillas and nachos whenever it snowed. And it was a great tradition. But then the third one hit back to back, and now we're 10 pounds heavier, and we're stuck inside in our condo. And David says, I've always dreamed of living in Miami, and I can't take this anymore. And I said, well, then, you know what? Maybe we should talk about that. Maybe we should buy our first house together in Florida, in Miami. So fast forward, about 12, 14 months from there. It took us a while to find where we wanted to live in Miami. Miami is such a cool area that you have so many, right? Different areas.
I think it's interesting because, again, it's, now I'm with my wife, Rafael, who lives here. But prior to that, so we were dating distance between Paris and New York, and we had to decide where we wanted to settle. And we were kind of like, we don't want to be in the cold, the stress, all these different things. And at some point it made sense to come down here. I always say there's no perfect place, but I think the people living here are very lucky because of the quality of life, I think. And, the neighborhoods, like you said, there's a lot of things going on. So it's not like a foreign place. It's a place where you can adapt, I think, easily. I mean, obviously you have to meet a lot of people. You have to explore different things, but it's a very unique place. So I think we did a great choice.
Yeah, so it took us a long time. So after I think we gave 12 offers on properties, so this is 2013, 2014. We gave, I think, 10 to 12 different offers. We kept getting outbid or outcompeted, and we just try to keep staying focused. And I told David on the last one, I said, if this one doesn't happen, then we're going to buy a house in DC, and we're going to start, we're going to start life together. And next thing you know, we've found our beautiful house on the Venetian, and we love the fact that this is where we chose, and this is where our roots are. It's a really great spot in Miami. The one thing about Miami is that depending on what you're looking for, how much you're looking to spend, and what you would like, you have so many options, right,
That's
Ben?
what I always tell, clients and friends. I say the great thing about Miami is that there's options for everyone. Whether you want to buy your first apartment or house, and you have an under $1 million budget, or you have unlimited budget, and you really, you have just options. Whether it's a beautiful house on the Venetian, or it's a condo in Sanial or Aventura, or even a house in Coconut Grove or Coral Gables, which is another vibe, but it's also very nice.
Super nice.
It's super nice.
I could really, honestly, depending on where I am in my life, let's say, I would live in all of those places.
Sure.
I think, you would say the same thing. I always joke with David. He always says, what about Palm Beach? And I'm like, in 50 years, we'll be in Palm Beach for sure.
Now
down here.
Palm Beach is like one of the hottest places, I guess, in the world. I mean, now it's super expensive, but it's a beautiful place. It's really beautiful. It's very relaxed, and
Yeah, so you asked me why we came down here, and the really sole reason why we came down here is we love palm trees, and we love really beautiful turquoise skies.
But I think, it's similar things. I'm very close to the outdoors and to nature, and I said to myself that if there's a place where I need to settle, prior Miami, I lived in so many places, from New York to Los Angeles to Tel Aviv to Paris to all these different, which are all great cities.
Awesome cities, yeah.
But I wanted to be, somewhere where there's greenery, where there's ocean, and when you drive down, what's it called, the causeway, and you have this blue. And every time I pass, I'm like, look at this, like, look where we live. It's beautiful. So, and it changes your day. And I always say Blue Mind, because again, it's a book I read that I highly recommend. And I actually had Wallace Nichols, who's a friend and was a guest on the show. The power of the water and looking at the water, swimming in the water, anything around water is so relaxing. And you don't feel stressed. I mean, since I'm here, we always have challenging days, but I feel always lucky, blessed. I feel good. And again, in what we do, both of us, in real estate, it's a hard business. And some days are better than other. But when you stop for a moment and you look at what you have, you're like, I'm grateful. I'm very thankful for everything I have and where I live,
No, absolutely. And, there's something special about here. I lived in a bunch of places as well, and each one of them are absolutely great. But there's characteristics about this area, and I always love to tell people is that you're going to have hard days, but it's 30-40% less difficult here. It's 30-40% less stressful here, right? Don't you agree?
Oh, 100%. It is like this, I came from New York. So New York is an incredible city, but every day is really, really hard. Not only, again, yes, it's expensive, but I think the stress of every day, because you feel like you have to fight with something every day, And I think, look, we have one life, and I think we have to live it well. And I think, again, beyond, everybody's talking about the taxes. That is one reason, of course, to come here, because it's a huge reason.
Bonus.
It's a bonus. But I think one other reason, which I always say, is love where you live and choose where you live, because the quality of your life, like, what is it, if you work hard, and you don't really enjoy life? I feel that in South Florida, of course, you can work hard and you can stand out and you can do a lot of things regardless the industry you're in. But you can also enjoy life. Where else can you really go boating on the weekend, go play tennis, these things? And it's little things that make a difference in your everyday life. For me, it does, whether it's from running or going to the ocean or just having a coffee with friends and the weather is good. These little things make a difference. And, I think that's major reasons we came here. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me a little about, so you still practice real estate in in Washington, D.C., Virginia, Maryland. How is the market out there? And what did you do prior to, I assume you were doing that for quite a few years before coming to Florida.
Yes, so totally interesting. I was in the TV shopping world for
That
12,
also you
13
have to tell us
years.
about the
I'll
TV
tell you
show.
about that later. Totally different. And then about 6 years ago, I had to choose, 7 years ago, I had to choose, do I want a gym membership? Do I want a husband maybe? Do I want to have more of a more grounded lifestyle? My prior world that I was in, I was on a plane. I would probably do anywhere from 10 to 15 trips a month.
Yeah.
So that was substantially always on the plane. So having very simple things like a gym membership, and I used to always laugh and say I can't have a gym membership, but it was really great for that time of my life. But for
Yep.
now, I was looking of doing something that was within the world of the home. I have been an avid investor for real estate for a very long time, so it's just naturally something that I was super passionate about. I
Yep.
joined the
Where did you
Keller
start?
Williams
Where did you start investing in real estate?
in DC, in the DC area.
Okay.
Right when I graduated college, I bought my first place.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I bought my first place in Fairfax. It was really cute. It was a condo style townhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it for $240,000, and through 2.5 years later, I doubled on it.
Yeah.
And a big light bulb took off. And how many years would I have to work at my regular job to be able to walk away with like over $200,000? Or
Yeah.
could I, in 2 years, right? What could I do in 2 years that I was able to work with my job and then also have this real estate that was working for me, but it was working smarter and harder. So I became really in love with investing, and I did a lot of other investing in the different types of things, but
you mainly invested in real estate in the US, I guess I would say, or like.
I invested in my business because I was growing at such a huge rate at that point. So for the 12 years that I was on TV shopping channels,
Mm-hmm.
but I invested in the DC area. And then when we moved down here, we actually sold a lot of our properties that were up in the DC area. And we have purchased a lot of things right down here in the Florida area, in the Miami area.
Good. And now you're advising your clients. I see a lot of different investment opportunities, which is great. I think, there's something for everybody, but I think obviously besides finding your main home or your second home or even your third home, I think if you look at investment opportunities and you understand what's going on, I think you did all the right, research, because I see all the different cool properties you have. There's some really, you can start small, if I can say, you don't,
Yes.
I think some people are scared and like, oh, I can't really invest in real estate, but there's different ways to do it and find investment opportunities and then, make it work for you.
So there's a great book if you have anybody or investors or anybody that's looking on different types of investing. Manny Khushbin, I don't know if you follow him on Instagram.
Yes, I do.
He's a very sweet Persian friend from LA. And, it's funny when you ask me about what kind of investments I do, I actually invested in a real estate fund that Manny had. So, investing in real estate is something really interesting. But Manny came out with a book. It was called...
And how did you,
Let's see.
so how do you know Manny? Is it a family friend or is it, did you meet him at a certain event or?
Yeah, so Manny did an event last year or the year before about, for real estate, you had to kind of
Got it.
apply for this position for this real estate that he had. It was at his house and it was a 3-day event. And David and I actually got picked for it. So we went out to LA and we met Manny, we met Layla, very, very sweet couple. But the way that Manny talks about investing in this book, I think it's called Contrarian. And in this book, it is amazing. It is amazing. Even, David, my husband, has been investing in multifamilies for the past 20 years. And that is a big part of his success.
My friend Sam says it's contrarian.
Contrarian, there you go.
There you
Perfect. So I'm sure he would agree if he's read it. It is an amazing book. I actually give it
I'm gonna
to
add it
all
to my
of my
list.
investors.
Yeah.
So in Manny's book, he teaches you about different levels of investing. So my husband David had even read this book, and he sold his whole portfolio of real estate based on this book because David had a philosophy that you buy and you hold. You buy real estate and you hold on to it. You buy your next one and you hold on to it. I have a really different mindset. You know, your real estate is your investment, and investment is basically an asset of cash. And you
Yes.
don't have to park that into one little box forever.
Mhm.
Why do you have to be married to that one box?
Of course, no.
Right? So buying low and selling high is really the formula that Manny talks about in his book. That is the secret to his success, which isn't a big secret at all if you really think about it. So he has talks about it even in his training that he had at his house for 3 days. He talked a lot about different case studies that he did, and all of them started with buying low.
But I think it's interesting. I mean, obviously, we're in the US and real estate is a big thing for everybody. Even if you're not in real estate, at some point in your life, you get involved in real estate. And there's different, formulas to invest in real estate. And then you do what works for you. I think that's the beauty of it.
Yes.
And at the end, if you understand, you use your cash right, and you invest in properties that make sense for you, in areas that make sense for you. And then, it's you make money on it, you sell it, you buy another one. I mean, you're not tied to one thing. So that's, but I'm definitely going to add this book to my list.
I agree. Awesome. Let me know what you think about it when you read it.
No, for sure. So let's come to we're not going to talk real estate because we have to diversify a little bit. I want to know about your TV career, your TV, and I want to know how did that, because I'm sure it did, because you're an entrepreneur. How did that help you jump into real estate? And because every experience helps us when we come to real estate. I jumped into real estate 4 years ago. I started in New York. Now I'm here since a year, but prior to that, I did a variety of other businesses, all entrepreneurial, and every experience helped me. Every place I lived in helped me. So how did, your prior experiences and your career say right now, what you were doing in TV and shopping, e-shopping, I guess.
There's a lot of different things. One thing to be on TV, you obviously have to have a product that's going to sell, right?
Yeah.
So having that is something completely separate. But something that I've walked away from that has helped and fueled me in my real estate career is, right now I'm looking at you. We're doing something like a TV, if you will. There's a camera.
It's a mini TV show.
Stuff,
Yeah.
right? But I can see you. And when you and I are talking, let's say you say something and I go like this, you're going to know that I obviously didn't like something that you said, right? Or something I'm taken back. So I had to learn how to sell to a black hole. You have to learn how to sell to a camera screen. And there's no reaction when you sell to a camera, right? So you have to be able to speak in a way that's going to have the person stop what they're doing, walk over, pick up the phone, because this was 15 years ago, right? So you weren't really doing a lot of stuff off of your iPad and stuff, but
that is for
you
sure.
would pick up the phone and you would make the order. So you have to give features and benefits, and you have to be able to give a lot of information that's going to be compelling to you, and maybe what's compelling to you about this crystal tea set that I'm selling is not compelling to this person.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to sell feature and benefit.
What types of products were you selling, if I may
So
ask?
I had my own line. It was called Sorelli, and it was home accessories, decor pieces, crystal, porcelain. We were on HSN for 10 or 12 years. And then from there, I was on different shopping channels around the globe. So I was in the shopping channel in Australia, England, and in Canada. And then I would just have to fly to each shopping channel to do the shows. And then we would fly to the factories. And at the beginning of it, we were producing in Italy and in Spain. And then it became predominantly in China. Because that's when everything was just
Like a lot of,
taken up, right? So I worked with really great factories, and we were there all the time. So one of the other things is marketing. The most important thing for real estate is marketing.
I think for real estate and for a lot of business, I mean, we see it a lot, we're in the US, but every business, it's really about marketing, and then obviously your relationships and building the right relationship, but marketing is pretty much everything, especially here. I mean, in Europe, it's very different.
No, absolutely. And we're very aggressive here in the States and we're, very hardcore and we take fonts and colors and language and lighting and everything and music and sound and heartbeats and we do everything to shake it up, right? And we do all of these different things to grab your attention. And working with the best producers, working with the best set artists, working with the best marketing directors or online teams. I worked with the best and most amazing teams around the world. You know that the shopping channel, you have an extensive amount of resources, and I was working directly with them for 15 years. So I learned how to build not only a brand in the US, but also to make a worldwide brand. We would do launches of items worldwide. In one single day, I sold 34,000 units of a globe. And then the globe had an upsell of the stand. And then the big globe had a little mini globe. So we sold over 90,000 units of just this one product from midnight to 1 p.m. the next day. And that is massive numbers, right? And it just shows you on how to target and to make the features and the benefits and to get that point across on why to get that person to buy.
So basically to sell anything, it's you have to say the features and benefits. Is that the formula? It
is. It really is. And with every feature, there's a benefit. And then every benefit then has another feature and benefit. So if you kind of just think about that, and that's really what they do on TV shopping channels all day long. I mean, it took me years and years and years to be able to be comfortable in front of the camera, to be able to articulate properly about the pieces in such a fast time, because we personally had full hour shows. And we had anywhere, we would start and we'd have $30,000 budgets to sell 30,000 in an hour. And you think that's difficult. And then, you get better and better. And then all of a sudden you have budgets of $150,000 just in 1 hour, which is really, really challenging to get to.
For sure. So now let's, to finalize, we're going to come to a few questions. What is the typical day of Avisha in Miami as a real estate advisor and mom?
Before COVID or after COVID?
Both, actually both. Because this time of this pandemic and COVID has changed a lot for everybody. I think regardless, your situation, and we kind of change our habits and our ways of living. But you're an entrepreneur and you're a mom. So how was it before and how is it now? Like for the past few months?
Yeah, well, it's trying to get back to where it was before, but, I think waking up early is key. I feel like I can never get anything done unless I wake up really early and be able to do the things. I need to do things for myself, I need to do things for my family, and then I need to be on top of it for clients and timelines and all of those good things. So, I really try to wake up in the morning and read a book. I think
it's a good way to start the day.
Yeah, so 30 to 40 minutes. And now what I want to do is actually get up and do yoga or something first and then read. And then I can jump on my emails. But I need to do all of that before 7 a.m. so I can, I can be able to do that. I'm super fortunate. I have a really lovely nanny. So she comes in at 7 a.m. and she gets the baby ready together to go to work. So by 7:30, I'm working already, full gear.
But I think it's very important. I mean, I'm also an early riser, and I think just getting in some good habits, some good practices, just before you start your day, and not just jumping on. And I know sometimes we repeat it, because everybody's like good habits and start it, but you have to actually do it to really see the benefits. I mean, I've been waking up early for years and years, and I've been implementing some good habits such as meditating, and I really take it seriously. And
that's on my to-do list to do meditation.
And again, everybody's different, but I started with an app, and then I do, it can be 10 minutes, it can be 15, or it can be 20 minutes. But I think it really helps me stay calm regardless of any situation and be mindful. And obviously I love to exercise. So, whether it's go running or go to the gym or, do now they have Soul Cycle outdoors, which is actually lots of fun.
I can't wait to try it at the one hotel.
You should. It's amazing. I mean, you have the sunrise, and then you go for a jump in the sea.
It looks epic. It looks amazing.
So there's a lot of things, and then you start because obviously we're all connected with our devices, whether it's iPhone, iPad, everything, and it's great, but it's overwhelming, and then your mind goes crazy. So a habit I really try to implement, to be honest, 98% of the time, I do not look at my phone or use it before breakfast. That's kind of my thing. It's like breakfast, I take the time to look at everything, but I don't, because then you get caught up in all these different apps and social media and all these things. It's made to
No,
get you stuck to it.
David does the same thing. He actually came up with this other routine now, and my husband does not pick up or touch the phone. He's in a different world. He's in wealth management, so nobody is calling him at 5 in the morning,
For sure.
letting them know that the AC unit went out and it's 120 degrees outside. I live that world, right? I also do property management. I manage about 20 properties,
Okay.
so I can't do that.
But yeah, and on another hand, I love reading, and I actually either read a book, physical book, or I listen to Audible, but in the evening. So I take 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, depends, before I sleep to do that. And I think just these habits
Yes.
just changed my life, and I do it everywhere. Wherever I go, it just obviously there's some times where you don't need to do all that when you're on vacation or whatever, but generally speaking, and it just game changer. So
I
that
try to do the Audible in the car.
yeah,
I
I actually
love music. I mean, I love just driving like it really fast
no,
and putting
but
some
but
amazing music
I'm
on.
like you. So in the car, I tried in the car, and I'm like, no, I want music, and I just want to enjoy my drive because I love driving, and I love
Yes.
music and all that. But the Audible, I just do it, when I have a moment and I can really focus and not driving. I tried, but last question. So you've been in Miami for quite a while. Is there any neighborhood and any spot you love and you would recommend? Just it could be a restaurant, it could be a place to go out, it could be an outdoors place. Is there a place that is very special to you that you go on a regular basis with your husband or with your friends?
Actually, yeah. So I told you how we put 12 offers in when we were trying to buy our house, and we kept going back from DC to Florida, DC to Miami, DC to Miami, and I start getting annoyed, with all these trips just to find a house. So I told David, unless we go to Smith and Walensky and I have a seafood tower and a champagne on the sunset, I wasn't going to go to Miami. So still to this day, Smith and Walensky, walking on Bay Walk and along the side and in South Point Park, it is really lovely. I really love it.
No, there's so many places. For me, I actually there's a place. I mean, and for some reason I love it since the first day, which is Mandolin.
Mandolin,
It's like my place. It reminds me of like
I'm
Mediterranean
obsessed
Greece.
too. No, you're
For
right.
some,
I'm totally obsessed. But
yeah,
you don't want too many people to know about it.
yeah, of course, that's true. That's true. And then there's some little cafes like Pura Vida, which is now they have I think 5 in Miami, but it's always very good. It's friends of mine, Omer and Jennifer, who have it, and it's always good and it's healthy and it's a nice spot. So
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
that's an amazing spot. That's the
yeah.
thing about Miami. There's so many amazing places, for everything and everybody, and that's what I
For
just love
everything,
about
look, you look at the design district, which to come to neighborhoods, and a few years ago there was nothing, and today, you go there. It's I mean I live in Brickell, but I go there by car. It's like not even 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
you have art galleries, you have restaurants, you have shops, you have all these things, and it's actually nice to walk out there. And there's actually prior COVID, there was a lot of events there. So it's happening, and if you want to go on the beach side, there's so much also on the beach side. So south of Fifth and all of that. So, but overall, look, we're not gonna. I think we're in a very lucky position. There's a lot happening. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Avisha, thank you for being such a
Thank you,
wonderful
Kevin.
guest. People, if you don't know Avisha, please make sure to connect with her on Instagram. If you need advice on all things real estate Miami, feel free to reach to either of us. We work together, so there's no, if I can say, competition. I'm always about collaboration. That's what I've been doing, not only in real estate but in other businesses. So I'm really about collaboration. And look, if you need any advice on South Florida or Miami or anything else, or you just want to say hello, please reach out. Thank you so much, Avisha,
Thanks,
and
Ben. I
have a
appreciate it. Have a
fantastic
good
day.
day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.